Hello, Rebecca Lloyd coming at you from Brisbane, Australia, where the weather is similar to Florida and it's a lovely place to live, except when it's incredibly humid and I end up looking like a poodle. Today is not so bad. Is your message to market cringeworthy or inspiring? Is it attracting or is it repelling? Some of the messages to market that I've seen that I've actually now unfriended those people, not because I was offended, not because it was, oh, clutch my pearls, I can't be doing with that, but simply because I was like, that's just really confusing and I don't really understand what it is that you're trying to convey. One of them was a guy stripped to the waist, all tattooed up, you know, cooking bacon and eggs and looking incredibly sexy. And the copy to that was, let's see how many people are actually going to be offended by this and how many people I can unfriend. I had only just friend requested this person. What was in her little bio was all about the stuff that I'm interested in, entrepreneurialism, you know, coaches, etc., etc. And I thought this could be a really, really good business synergy. But because her message was so far out there, so incongruent, I wasn't offended, but I was just like, what the flip? I don't even understand what it is that you're talking about. So I wrote, I don't find this offensive. I just find this really confusing. Like, what message are you trying to convey here? And her response was, oh, I just want to see who's going to get offended at something that is, you know, nothing. And I just want to make my wall. It's nice to scroll past and see something sexy.
Say what?
Well, for me, who really uses Facebook for business purposes, I'm not remotely interested in that. So although I wasn't offended, I also found it very spammy. Because I found it very spammy, I unfriended that person. Those of you watching, you might not be putting up really sexy images of yourself or sexy images of others, but have you actually considered what is your message to market? If you're constantly just putting up inspirational quote after inspirational quote, that can start to get really bland and really meh to people, because when people read your bio, they will expect something out of that. So whilst the like, no trust factor will very much come into play, you will see a lot of videos of me where I've got no makeup on, where I'm looking like a hot mess, and part of me, I just don't really care if people see me like that, but also part of me, I want to be seen as being very transparent, and people enjoy seeing me showing up looking very transparent in that way. But I have to then balance that out with having an appropriate amount of teaching videos and videos that say, do this, have you considered that, may I suggest this, blah, 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 to show that what my bio is, which I help you get to 4 figures a month to 5 figures a month. If I was all about influencing and stuff like that, and fashion, then showing up in a sexy outfit with a duck face looking incredible, which I've never managed to get those angles anyway, would be congruent with my message to market. But my message to market is not about Instagram and fashion and influencing. And so for me to show up with sexy face all the time would just be confusing to the people that have read my bio, because they're going to go, well, how is duck face, you looking sexy in a dress, going to help me get to 4 figures a month? How is sexy in a pair of tight jeans that make your bum look 20 years younger than what it actually is? And that's the truth, I actually have a pair of those jeans, is actually going to help me get to 5 figures a month consistently. You know, someone that is looking to get to 6 figures a year consistently doesn't frankly care whether their operations manager in their digital media agency can do a really great selfie in a hot pair of jeans. So if you are bringing with your bio saying, I can help you get this, I can help you get that, stop thinking about stop thinking about me. You've got to think about the person that you're serving and how are they going to receive the message that you're putting out to market. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the people that are following me on here have got enough sense of mind to not be putting out negative things and, oh, I'm just not coping today and stuff the world. I unfriended another person. Her bio talked about how she was a true follower of Christ, and she was always going on about one night stands and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, man, that is just totally incongruent. And I'm like, I don't trust you. And that's what it boils down to. And your message to market is not going to be congruent. So before you post something, think, how many other people have posted this already? Does this look like I just ripped it off from some website and did the best I could with 2 minutes that I actually put into the thought of doing business online when you've told people that you work online? Here is the call to action to really pull all this together for you. If you're putting up content and it's not bringing in comments and resonating and sharing and stuff like that, your like, no trust trust is a big thing, is probably lacking. If you are not getting people coming into back office and saying, oh, that's cool, I wouldn't mind having a conversation with you about that, then your like, no trust factor is probably lacking. People will not trust you if they do not believe you can lead them. If you have not demonstrated leadership capacity and leadership capabilities in your feed, people will not trust you to lead them. They will not throw money at you. And so whilst I show up looking like a hot mess a lot of the time, I do that on purpose to show that I'm very real and I've come from a very real background. Why do I do that? Because it's important for my ideal client to know that I understand your struggles. I know that you have to drag yourself out of bed some mornings looking like a hot mess. I've 13 years of failure behind me. I'm very transparent about that because I want people to understand that even if they don't have it all together, by partnering with someone that knows where they're going, they can get it all together and get to where they need to be. You need to understand who is your ideal client. You should have a name for your ideal client. If you don't know who you're talking to with all of your posts, you need to get down and do an empathy map. Oh, I serve everybody. No. If you try to serve everybody, you will be shining your flashlight at every single person that walks down the street. But when you're really looking for something in the dark, that one single light that shines, oh my gosh, I need that. So you need to know who your ideal client is before you even bother showing up online. Now you can go and do some digging around on Google and find an empathy map and actually work that empathy map out. Have a name for your empathy map. And then every time you're talking to your ideal client, you are talking to your ideal client. This is important, okay? If you're constantly coming online and you're like this, like looking at yourself and, talking and, bloody blue, that shows, okay? I need to look down that screen and tell you I am looking right at you. I am talking to you so that the person knows that I'm actually paying attention to them and not just looking at myself because I feel like I look really good today. Look at your audience. Look at your ideal client. Do what you need to do so that when you show up, your posts are thoughtful, they are relatable, and it's going to cause people to like you, to know you, to trust you. You are a multifaceted human being and you should never just be totally business. So your like, no trust can be multifaceted, but it has to also be congruent. I don't want to see a half-naked tattooed man cooking bacon and eggs. Not because I'm offended, but just because I just don't have the time. I'm a businesswoman and I don't want to see stuff like that. That's not my ideal client, so therefore I'm off. Just be aware that if you put out a certain message and it doesn't resonate with people, people will drop off or they'll just ignore you. If you don't understand your client, then your message to market is not going to be resonating with people and you're going to feel dejected because you don't feel it's working for you, and so you're not going to be consistent and the algorithms are not going to work in your favor. Make sure that your message to market resonates, but you need to make sure that you are resonating with an ideal client. Otherwise, you are resonating with nobody and you're just bringing information in for the sake of populating your wall. If you're showing up with bland spam, don't waste your time. If you're trying to get to 4 figures, join my group Kingdom Queens. I can get you to 4 figures a month. If you are ready for 5 figures a month and you understand your client and you know who you're talking to, then you need to look at Diamond Edge Digital Media Agency. So that's it from me. I'm off to get out of this extremely sweaty top. I will speak with you again. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Chat soon and God bless.